boys, for me, how's it hanging? How's it happen? You guys know who this is. This is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast. The podcast, Rolling Stone says, initiates profound discussions with rock and metal artists, allowing fans to discover the creative workflow of their favorite musicians and understand the factors that make them succeed or fall from fame. We are also sponsored by Dark Fusion Systems, the best for your custom computing needs. Get $100 off your entire business code CPPOD at darkfusionsystems.com. Description of the podcast below. Now let's go to our feature presentation. Over a year ago, this band called Screams of Syrens reached out to me about being on the podcast. Then they went dark, and now a year and a half later, they are finally here with brand new music in tow. We talk about why they were gone for so long, the reasoning behind it, the focus they put in on the product that was their music over just the craziness that is social media, and why the Robert De Niro Stank bass is going to come when you hear their breakdowns. Let me tell you, breaking the circle of trust here with them breakdowns. You guys ready for a good one? Let's go! Yeah! Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression Podcast. In the year 2023, this band and I, we were going back and forth, potentially trying to set up an episode, and then, boom, just went like complete radio silence, had no idea what happened, so had my nice little board up here with the name on the list, I erased it off. Now summer 2024 hits, and they reach out and they say, hey, we're back, and we've got some new fun stuff to talk about, so can we still be on? And I decided to stick with it because why the fuck not? So coming to you guys right now, a nice progressive metalcore act that will also melt your face, has something new coming out on August 28th, but I know what it is. You don't know what it is, but we're going to talk about it right now. So please welcome Trevor, Isaac, and Frankie from Screams of Syrens to the podcast. So gentlemen, welcome to the Chord Progression Podcast.
Thanks for having
us. What up?
Thanks, Kevin. Really appreciate you having us still.
Yeah,
thanks.
After all this time.
Yeah, hey, thanks for reaching back out too, because like I had there's plenty of bands that I talk to about like stuff like this, and sometimes they just go radio silent. It's like I don't want to always be like the pest. I always have other bands I can always go to, but if someone's gonna reach back out, it's like, if I wanted to say yes at one point, why wouldn't I say yes again?
Yeah, I mean, low key, you just wanted us, right? You wanted us to reach back out. That's just,
Yeah. I did that whole thing where it's like
happening there.
Where it's like I don't want to say it, but I just want them to do it type thing.
Yeah.
Well, we did it.
But we did it, and thanks for being on, guys. But first thing I asked is because we were gonna be all set and ready to do something in 2023, and then boom. I mean, we're doing it now, but there was a whole year and a half gap in there. So what all happened, guys?
So, well, we went through member changes very unexpectedly and very fast.
Yep.
And then we started recording the new music, and we haven't played shows. We haven't done anything since 2022.
So, no, we lost members in the middle of trying to record a new EP.
Yeah, that was part of the problem.
So that's a big part of it. And so obviously that was a big setback for us, and it kind of, took the wind out of our sails for a little bit, but once we finally got Franki on board and kind of solidified the current lineup, it was just nose to the grindstone, trying to make this new EP and try to make it the best thing we possibly could. And, almost a year later, here we are.
It just took a year and some member changes, but it's got to be tough, especially when you're trying to record a new EP. You're trying to make new music, and you haven't played a show since 2022. Then you have member changes happening left and right, and that's a huge issue in itself. Not only just having to deal with a new member coming in, but if you're writing a new EP, then a new member coming in, they're going to have their specific style. They're going to have their ideas and their influences. So the inputs on the songs that you're creating, now that whole entire process is going to take longer, not only for another member to, facilitate themselves into the band and just really get influenced by that, but to become comfortable all around in the writing process, where you just throw someone in there who maybe you guys have known for maybe a couple of weeks at that point in time. The comfortability and the chemistry needs to develop, and it's just not there. So no wonder why you guys took time to really record this, but also take that time off and really not show yourselves in more of the public space, because so much was happening behind the scenes in order to make sure that the new EP was going to be the best possible outcome.
Yeah. And that's kind of why we disappeared too, because, we could have posted random stuff here and there, but it's, nobody cares. We're okay. Yeah, we're sitting there writing stuff. We don't have anything to show, So we're just like, all right, we're going to do our thing. We're going to really focus in.
And one thing we've been super guilty of in the past is consistently saying, hey guys, new stuff coming out soon. And then
Yeah.
4 months go by and nothing happens. And I told these guys, like, I'm sick of posting random updates. Like, hey guys, new stuff coming up soon. And then of course we get in the rabbit hole of the studio and writing, and then 4 months pass by and you're like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
like let's just be
yeah.
radio silent for a little while. Let's really focus. But to your point, what you were mentioning earlier about the chemistry of the band, I don't know, Frankie, you can probably say a lot about that, because there's some funny stories about with Frankie having to join and what he was feeling.
Well, we got to hear some Frankie stories, man. Come on, don't hold back on us. Like, what happened when you joined the band? How did this all come into play?
As far as like me joining, I feel like I've known these guys for a few years. Like, I filled in on a tour with them a few years ago. That's how I met them. They all seem really cool. Big bit of a personalities clash and stuff like that. But like overall, I feel like these dudes are pretty solid. What do you want me to
Isaac's
get at?
just like wanting to say something right now.
What do you want me to get at, Isaac?
First,
what do you want me to get at?
So first off, if you haven't guessed, the personalities clashing is me and Frankie.
Yeah, it's definitely those two. Yeah,
I could have just said that straight up.
we're here to be honest, man. Come on.
No,
I mean,
it was funny
we're two
because
guitar players. It's just bound to happen. I have a good idea. You have a good idea. Which idea should we work on first?
Mine. I thought it was, I like, to what you were saying earlier, Kevin, with there being like awkwardness with the chemistry and whatnot. I think there was some of that, but we had the advantage of knowing Frankie already for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
Because he had filled in on a tour, and I had just randomly, this was 2020?
29. It was 2019.
Was it that long? Wow.
You just said I was on tour already with my band at the time, and then Isaac hit me up and was like, "Hey, I see you have a guitar in your hand as a profile picture. Like, you play guitar."
That's exactly what it was. I was just randomly adding people on Facebook, whoever had an instrument in their hand, and I sent out blasts about needing a guitarist for Phil, and he said yes. And it worked out well. We had a great time. Yeah. But to what I was trying to say is, he already we've been friends for about a year and a half. And I thought it was really funny because when he came and officially auditioned for the role, I remember he's standing here, I'm sitting on this couch, Trevor's sitting here. At the time, our old guitarist, Alex, was sitting here as well. And so we're like, okay, go ahead, plug in, play this song. So he plays it. And almost before he even waits for us, he looks over at us and goes, "Was it good enough? Did I do it okay?"
Because I know you just get in. I feel like there's some people that when you first meet them, and you just know their personalities, and there's other people where you just got to tiptoe around them, and it's like,
yeah,
no, I don't know if I did good, or I don't know if I, did I make the cut. But with them, I feel like I could genuinely be myself and like kind of give them shit, and simultaneously get a real answer of like, was I good enough? Is this good enough for you? Type of shit. Which obviously it worked out, and even if it didn't, these guys are my friends either way. Like, we hang out, we text, we bullshit, we talk shit to each other all the time, and that's genuine friendship right there. If you can't talk shit to your friends, are they friends?
No, that's absolutely genuine friendship, especially when it comes to guys. It's like, we'll talk shit about you like crazy, and all of a sudden you leave the room like, God damn, that's a good dude right there. Like, I really like that guy. Come sit back and like, what's up, you fucking asshole? Just always rip on him. The only way, honestly, Frank, you could have made that better instead of just yelling, "Am I good enough?" is if you threw the guitar at the wall, Russell Crowe gladiator sound, and yelled, "Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?" I mean, if someone does that in an audition, unless they play terribly, you're probably like, holy shit, this dude is either perfection. It's like, this dude is either really messed up in the head, or this dude has energy that's gonna really shine brightly in this band. One of the two.
Dude,
I was that close to doing it. I was that close.
Your audition was easier than mine. I remember when I auditioned for these guys back in 2019, I showed up at the rehearsal space, played the music, and at this time I was the bassist.
Yeah, he was a bassist before he was the guitarist in this band.
Yeah. And I mean, it went well. I was like, okay, cool,
Yeah.
whatever. I kind of just did it. And I remember when I walked out of the rehearsal room, and I just hear all, four of you? Yeah, four of you just bust out in laughter. Like, and I had no idea what they were laughing at, but I walked out and I just hear, and I'm like, okay, either I did really fucking terrible or I've got the gig. And so
I don't remember what it was. I think it was completely unrelated.
oh, okay. Well, there you go.
I don't think it was a jab at you or anything. I think we're all no. What it was like, where the fuck did this guy come from? It was a good thing. It was a good thing.
Okay, well, that's good.
I mean, as long as someone just didn't, rip one hell of a fart in the middle of it, as
That could have happened too.
There. I mean, that probably happened. Just that, but that also speaks to just when you have a band and you have people come in and you just can kind of come along with that chemistry and come along with how the band is interacting with your personality.
Yeah.
That's something that's huge because, I mean, think about it. And there's so many times in the world today, you think about social media where people are always putting up like a certain facade, a certain actor, limiting what their personality is being shown so that they try and fit in with certain things. And especially if you're trying to audition for a band and you come in and you start to do stuff like that, you're going to do that potentially to get the gig. A lot of people do that to try and get jobs in the world as well. But especially when it comes to a band, when it has that massive creative space to it, once you end up getting in there, now as the comfort builds up, now your real self is going to feel a lot more comfortable to come out. You're going to be feeling more free to do that. But then based on what you are really may not work well chemistry wise in a band with what everybody else is. So if you go into an audition, just being your genuine self, being exactly who you are, whether it's super duper serious, super duper goofy, wanting to try and reenact Russell Crowe Gladiator, or just walk out of there and just be nervous as all hell because everyone was laughing. As long as that's who you are, that's what's going to work out best, because then when you do get to join the band, like when Franki joined, when you're working on new music, then it's a little bit easier to kind of get integrated into that overall band feel, into the overall, team, the vibe, the family that is the band. Now I'm starting to sound way too corporate by saying like the team. We are a family. God damn it. I've been working in corporate America too long, guys. This is really, really problems here.
No, man, it's real. It's a real thing, man.
It is a real thing, but it's once you get that, initial batch in there, it's like, okay, now we're already clicking. That's where a lot of that creativity really starts to flow from an initial standpoint, so that you can get to the point where, you're making new music right away. And if someone else has a brand new idea, you're willing to go along and try and see where it goes, not just stop it dead because we don't think that's going to work. No, you have the trust and you have the chemistry to say, let's see where this goes. Let's see what happens here. This could add to our music, or nah, that was shit, but hey, at least we know.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. Yep.
Yeah.
It's true. And I know, again, you guys said we're working on new music. So what's going on with this new music, and what was the writing process like specifically with, rotating members coming in and out of the band during that time?
That made it challenging. It was.
I mean, you say a year and a half. Realistically, you had contacted us like about halfway through this whole process. Realistically, we've been, dealing with this and writing and all of that stuff for probably about 2 years.
Yeah.
So
this one's taking a while.
It's been a long process and filled with good times, obviously, high times, but like there's so much self-doubt, especially the longer you sit on something, the more you start to question it. And so having to fight through that.
When the rewrites we've done on the songs. And
rewrites because, maybe the old guitarist didn't do something that I liked. And I said, okay, well, let me try this. And so rewrites and then
I think a few of the songs have gone through maybe 5 to 7 different full versions of the song.
Maybe.
I think it's more.
Maybe more, yeah. I mean, we've put in a lot of work on these, and the process itself, I mean, it went well. It just, we got so hyper focused on making it as perfect as we could, and which I think is a good thing, but it took us longer than we all wanted it to take. Yeah. But what we came out with, though, we're all seriously excited with.
And I guess in addition to that, like, we also had decided about halfway through that we wanted to actually try and up the production quality of it. So we had, for the first time, reached out to somebody to mix and master. We've had our stuff mastered before by other people, but generally Trevor has always been the, mixing engineer. We record here at his home studio. But this time we went with somebody else to mix, master, and also reamp guitars and stuff. And so that in and of itself probably took an extra 7 or 8 months, just the process of going back with, hey, can we tweak this at, this pass through, and can we bring this up? Can we bring that down?
Yeah.
So it's just been a long haul, but we've been super glad that it's over.
And
we're here.
We're here. So. And we're just hoping that everyone enjoys it. And it'll just be really nice to see outside reactions for once.
Yeah.
That's probably the one thing that I'm looking forward to most.
Yeah, we've had this so in our own camp for so long, and the opinions, it's not like having somebody that doesn't give a shit about you really tell you the truth. It's it's nice to
we showed it to friends and family, but like
to a certain degree, of course they're gonna be like, yeah, it's just really good, but you don't know how sincere they're being because they are your family and friends.
Well, it's like that saying, like, oh well, my mom told me it was cool.
Exactly.
It's just like, fuck.
So it's we've had like a few people outside hear it now, and the reactions have been fantastic so far. So we're pretty positive on it. And again, it's nice to just be done. It's nice to be just done with it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, anytime you get a reaction that says it sucks, just send that picture of Milhouse from The Simpsons that just says, "But my mom thinks I'm cool."
That's exactly what I was thinking about when I said that.
That's like when you said, I'm thinking that's all I could think about is that exact same scene.
But
and
my
just
mom said I'm cool.
Honestly, you could turn that into band merch. Like if someone literally posts like one of the wackiest, weirdest comments of hate, just put it on a shirt and then have the picture of Milhouse under it and says, "But my mom thinks I'm cool." It just adds to it. But it seems, especially, going over this the past 2 years, and you guys have worked on stuff in the past, of course, being a band for quite a long time, and having not really released anything since the Reflections album back in 2019. When you are going forward to try and work on new stuff, especially for over 2 years, at that point, it's kind of an inflection point of the band where we want to do the best, we want to put the best foot forward possible, and we're taking our time to do this, again, based on different circumstances. But like Trevor, you said, some of these songs went through 5 to 7 different passes in just an overall structure. So you're trying your best to make sure that these are absolutely at the top of their game. So when it comes down to how to make sure that these are produced, mixed, and mastered the best, why wouldn't you try and do the exact same thing with that? Because it's kind of like baking a cake. You can use the best ingredients out there, but if you use flour that has, maggots in it, then it's going to be a crappy cake. So if you don't,
maggoty cake.
Yeah. So even if you know what you're doing when it comes to mixing,
hair cake, no advertisement.
But even when it comes to just creating music, and you're going to create the best, and even if you are a good mixer, you can master your stuff, you can produce it. If you want to have a fresh take and you really want to try something like that to really take it above and beyond and make sure it's as good as possible, maybe getting a producer on the outside isn't the worst way to do it, or mix it or master it, just because they might have a certain idea or just a certain piece that you're not realizing that they can just hear, because they've been doing this for quite a long time. They've worked with so many other artists where maybe they can make that suggestion. Maybe you put it in there. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just give it a shot. And that could be the thing that adds to it and enhances it, so that we make sure that when, your friends and family are saying, yeah, this is good. Yeah, this is great. Then when you get it out into the public and when you first release this, they're able to listen to it. And then the reaction is the same, and not, the Milhouse, but my mom thinks I'm cool.
Yeah. Well, that is the thing too. Is it's like getting, since the inception of this band, I have been handling most of the production as far as the audio goes. It was nice to get like a fresh take on the whole thing. It's kind of like what you were saying. It's taking it, and it allowed me, which is rare for me, to actually just be the vocalist and not have to worry about being the engineer on it as well, which is really nice. It was nice not to have to worry about
that. I was waiting for an opportunity to bring this up, but secretly it's just we got sick of your mixing. So
yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, he's still technically engineered. Which is like a benefit. I feel like not a lot of bands have that access to be able to like just go to like, you know, a studio and just write and come out the way that you want, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like in that regard, we are really blessed. As much shit as we give Trevor, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you ain't giving him shit, then you ain't doing it right. Because again, we give you shit because we love you, my man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's all love. It's all love. This, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Fuck you guys, but it's all love.
I'm not even gonna look at you to dignify your response.
It's the type of love where we will just scream at you, but if we get drunk, we're gonna put our arms up and be like, "Yeah, guys, I love you guys." That's
every
the kind
time.
of love we're looking
I
at.
love you guys.
Maybe one of us.
Maybe.
The other one is going, "Don't fucking touch me."
Yeah. Normally you doing that, and then you get away from me.
He's gonna have a big
That's
giant
mainly-
pole.
that's
It's like
mainly
COVID. They have a big giant pole like COVID. Like, hey, 6 feet, 6 feet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's mine and Isaac's relationship.
Yep.
You get too close. Don't touch me. That's why I'm on a different screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep
Yep.
them far away from each other. So even on stage,
Scared.
you guys have like this like long, just solid like bar that you guys cannot like are attached to. You guys don't get too close to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever heard the term "I wouldn't touch you with the 30-foot pole"?
Yep.
It's almost the same thing. You know?
Hey, at least
I'm
it's a little bit
joking.
closer. It's about 29.5 feet.
Yeah. I'm joking though. Seriously though, you know, as much shit as we talk, like all our personalities, I feel like we're so comfortable with each other that we could be so free with our speech and like know that we don't take anything personal, and like even when it does get serious, it's like, you know, we do take each other serious, and you know, I feel like that's going to show in the music. And yeah, man, I just joined the band, you know, a few years ago, and I'm super grateful to know these guys and super grateful to write music with them because they're all talented as fuck. And, you know, I'm very proud of what we got coming out in the next couple of months personally, you know.
Well, before we jump into, you know, all the new stuff you guys got coming out, one thing you said, especially over the past couple of, you know, months over a year, that really piqued my interest was the fact that you said, you know, you weren't posting updates every couple months, like, you know, new stuff coming soon or, you know, big things coming soon, like every, you know, band that's just trying to get off the ground always says. But it wasn't even just not posting any updates, but it really wasn't posting much at all. Now, again, I totally understand when you're in the writing process and when you're dealing with member changes and you're trying to get through all this stuff to perfect the music, you don't want any distractions like that. But it is a completely different animal when in the world that we live in today, how big social media is and how consistent people need to be in order to make sure that, you know, you're pleasing the algorithms of whatever social media site you're working on. So when it came to really not doing anything social media style, did you guys find that helpful for you guys overall when it came to the writing process, maybe on the mental health side of things, the chemistry side of things? Or in the long run, do you wish you maybe would have done more on that to maintain a like stronger online presence before the release of your new music?
I think throughout the actual writing of it, I think it was honestly a good thing for us to not have that distraction, not have to worry about that. It was purely and solely about the music at that point. And of course, with the changing of members and Franki coming on board officially during the middle of this whole thing, it was honestly kind of scary to like, okay, well, how's this going to work? I know Franki had his own reservations about, you know, how much do I add to this band, or how much should I try to contribute, I guess, when he first started, because, you know, there had been a writing process for years before he joined, and so I know he was trying to figure out his place in that.
Yeah,
And
I was
so-
just trying to like see what was going on and not overstep like, oh well, no, that doesn't sound good, or like, oh, I think this sounds, you know what I mean? But yeah.
But you know, once that was over, and once we finally sent out all the stems to get mixed and mastered and reamped and all that, you know, that was when we kind of tried to shift focus, and we've, you know, for once in our lives come up with a actual social media release plan. So, you know, we've got our Google Doc with all the dates, all the pictures that we're going to be uploading on what date and what what caption we're using and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So fingers crossed, we'll do better enough to the point where the algorithm actually likes us. But
Hopefully.
yeah, I mean, it is super important, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I think with anything, regardless, you have to start with the product, right? You have to start with, you can be the best. Well, I don't know. It's
No.
not a great. Well, I was going to make the distinction of, like, you can be the worst person in the world and be great at social media, but then I thought about how many terrible people there are that are rich as fuck because they know how to do social media well.
Yeah.
But
and we didn't want to like keep like kind of what we touched on earlier. We didn't want to keep promising things that we knew at this point, okay, this is going to take longer than we were initially expecting. Like, we expected the process to go way quicker, but at a certain point we're just like, okay, this is going to take longer. We need to just focus on this. We need to stop promising people that we're going to have this done. And like, we just feel bad because it's like, oh, where's
you're the
people
boy
would hit
that
us
cried
up.
wolf.
Yeah. And people would hit us up and be like, are you guys done with done doing this? When is the release? And we're like, oh, we still have like 3 songs to write. So, so it just ended up being one of those things where, like, okay, for mental health for sure, and just for not disappointing, people that are following us, we're like, we need to just stop saying anything.
Yeah.
We're gonna do what we have to do, and once it's time, we'll be like, hey, we're back. It's coming out. Sorry for the wait. Basically.
Yeah.
See, now that makes a lot of sense. And I wasn't asking the question to try and be like, oh, these guys aren't doing social media. It was more of a question to really see where your guys' mindset was, because in the world that we live in today, and I've talked with many other bands that are very prominent scene, bands that are just up and coming bands at your guys' level as well, where a lot of bands, you're not just trying to make music anymore or have to make music succeed. You have to be, posting on social media. You have to have such a big following there and connection there in order to, get the numbers on there that so many different management teams, booking agents, labels are looking at to see if you're going to be a viable candidate in order to put more money behind. Overall streaming numbers, there's so much that goes to be focused in there. And it's like, if you don't please those algorithms, then you're going to end up getting lost in the dust. But it's not necessarily something where you always have to post there, because there are some bands that don't post on there a lot and they absolutely hit on it. Or there's bands that post on it every day, 3 or 4 times a day, and can be seen as the most annoying thing. It's just the way it is. However, the reason I brought it up is because as an artist, you're not just making music. It's like, if you're your own management team, social media team, especially as a younger own booking agent, you have to do it all. You have to be your whole entire business.
Yeah.
Where bigger bands have teams of hundreds of people doing this whole entire thing. And it's a lot to take in. There's only so much time in the day. There's only so much bandwidth that a band has or a person has. And if you're not going to be doing the social media thing and you need to take a break from it, as an artist, it depends upon, okay, now that you're gone from that platform for the time being, what are you doing with that time in order to make sure that you're going to improve your overall project, your overall passion, your overall craft to really go forward with that? So with you guys not focusing in on that and not promising stuff that you weren't going to be able to deliver on, you focused in on the music to make sure that it was going to be the best possible outcome that you could give at this point, at this stage in life, at this stage in your musical careers. You wanted to make sure that it was going to be the best possible, focus so heavily in, and make sure the chemistry of the band was great, so that when it was time to release stuff, when it was time to start posting about this stuff, and when it was time to get back in that social media game, you had the product behind it, but you also had something that you could fully believe in and continue to build on, so that as you guys continue to grow bigger, now you can put more focus in on that. But now you have that tangible base, because if you don't have that base of something or that absolute foundation, you try and build on top of it, it's just going to end up collapsing in on itself.
And that's kind of what I was talking about too, with the product itself. I think is probably the most important. I mean, sure, there are, like I said, outliers that are just terrible, talentless people who, for whatever reason, are super successful on social media. But in the world of music, especially, you can't. Especially in the world of music, you can't have a shitty product, and you could be the best social, media marketing person in the world. It's not going to matter, because if you only exist online purely and people aren't coming to your shows, I mean, I know of plenty of examples, I won't say, but that looks like they do well online. They've got both lovers and haters online. They've got a lot of engagement, but when it comes to when their show actually happens, they underperform with ticket sales. And, so having that really good product, that was absolutely our focus, to make sure, like, is this something we want to listen to? Is this something we're excited about? Does this please us and what our desires are to do creatively? So, yeah.
No, and Isaac, you're absolutely right too, because there are plenty of bands, I'm not gonna name names either, where I take a look at the different streaming numbers, whether it's on Spotify or they got a new like music video out or something, and you see the streaming numbers on those and the views, and they're absolutely massive. You take a look at people's different follower accounts or their engagement online, and it is pretty large and pretty consistent. And then all of a sudden you realize they're going on these tours and they're like, they seem online a lot bigger than some of these other bands, but why are they the ones opening, or why are they the ones where no one's paying attention to? And it's not based on the fact that they're not able to draw the people in there. It's because the product that they have does not keep the people in. It does not keep the fans in, especially from a musical standpoint, because maybe the music is just bad. That happens. Maybe the music is not genuine at all, or has no passion behind it. So why are people going to really get into it when you're putting so much time in on the presentation of who you are and not the actual being of who you are as a musician? There is so much there that you need to have that product in the back of it. So when you guys are going back on social media, now you have a brand new EP coming out. You've got a lot of songs coming out, and you have that, collection in there of something that you're proud of. Now you can build up on it, and people can actually attach to it, so that when you guys go out and play live, now people are going to come out and make sure that you guys get those ticket sales. And it's not just a bunch of overinflated numbers when you guys are trying to book out a venue to headline maybe 300-400 people, and only a tenth of that are able to show up.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's tricky, man. It's definitely a tricky landscape, these days. It's, if you're smart and you know what to look for, though, you can pretty quickly determine whether somebody is, like you said, padding numbers in a certain area.
Yeah.
But having to manage all of it, and have it be genuine, I think is obviously the key point. Because if you're smart, like I said, you can see right through it and you go, something's fishy here. Like something's not lining up with where it is. And just on a personal level, I've always wanted to make sure that, we do it right. I don't want to rely on padding numbers here, padding numbers there, or
because in the end, it doesn't help you. It doesn't. It makes you look stupid when you play live.
I'd rather have a social media profile with, 1,000 followers and have okay engagement than 50,000 followers and like 2% engagement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, at least on that social media side, we, talk more about how that translates into real life, but in general, right? You just want more genuine connection with your audience, for sure.
And that's what we want, is just as humans in general, is more genuine connection with other people. Even if, you're so focused in on, being stuck at your computer, or stuck on your phone, like just messaging people or playing games, or, going all COVID pandemic, hiding in your house, shelter in place type stuff. But we still all strive for that human connection, even if we aren't the most, extroverted people in the world. We still want to have that genuine connection with at least somebody, whether it's significant other, whether it's family or friends, because it makes life that much better. But it's just more enjoyable. It's just more authentic. And if you're going to be if you're not really having a product or making music that's going to attract that or keep that, then you're going to get those times where you might have a lot of people that follow you because of one little thing that went viral that was not related to anything around the product that is your music. So people are following you for a completely different reason than what it is the overall intention.
Yeah,
that's a bummer too.
Yeah.
I think overall we just want to be genuine with ourselves and genuine with our music and like the fans that we attract. We just, we want that connection to bridge well.
Want that connection.
I was just thinking about it's almost like, you remember like Dancing with the Stars, where you've got like those kind of just older celebrity has-beens that go on that dancing show and dance on, I don't know what network it is, but I started thinking, I wonder if like those trends, right? Like you were just talking about, Kevin, whatever trend it happens to be, whatever the real or action of the thing is, all these people are just copying on it, and again, you could be a band that has nothing to do with the trend that is doing it, but you try to somehow shape it. And I wonder if that is like the equivalent of Dancing with the Stars, but on TikTok. I don't know.
Dude,
So
you're not
An
wrong.
interesting thought, actually.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Isaac, you're not wrong. I had a very similar conversation around that with Lauren Babick from Red Handed Denial, because she was like, she always got big, beforehand doing her own vocal covers online. But then now for her to get her band back out there and get it more known, especially on different online spaces like TikTok, it's like she's like, we have to do all these like stupid little trends that have nothing really to relate to the band just in order to get people to continue to watch and maybe click on us. But not only is that not genuine, but as an artist, then you're trying to do something that has some creativity to it that you didn't do. That's more of an obligation. So it absolutely ruins the overall motivation. And then you're making content just to make it, just because you're trying to please some certain algorithm, instead of having that genuine product that's gonna have that genuine connection. Now, even for the copy and paste stuff, is there some stuff that absolutely would fit for your overall style, your overall presentation, so that your music gets out to the people you want to get out to? Sure. But if you're just gonna be slapping people in the face with tortillas, maybe people aren't gonna check out your music, but they're gonna think it's funny because when you guys got smacked in the face with a tortilla. But then they're not gonna check out your music. All they want to see is more shit like that.
They just want to see us beat the shit out of each other with tortillas.
Yeah.
With any kind of food.
And water in our mouth.
Yep.
We do that, but behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And we don't post on it. It's,
Yeah.
Well,
if
beyond
want to see that, they could come over and watch it. When we're all hanging out.
Yeah.
Well, beyond that, again, you guys have brand new music coming out, and you guys keep bringing up this date, August 28th on social media. Yes, we're still going back to social media. So what's happening August 28th, and what is going on with this new music, this new EP? Like, come on, let's go. We need to hear this, man. Like, now, this isn't no big things coming soon. This is it.
August 28th, we are releasing the first single off the new EP. The single is called Oblivion. And that song is dropping on August 28th, and along with that, a music video is going to be dropping with it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're and then 2 days later, we got the first show back. So it's going to be a fun weekend.
Yeah.
Damn, that is a fun weekend.
And then we've got
that's going to be great.
And then we've got the next single after that. I mean, we could. Just say because at this point, whenever this airs, right? We'll
Isaac, you go, and then I'll go.
Okay. So then the second single from the EP is going to be releasing on September. What was it? 29th? I should have had that ready.
He should have had it ready. We're professionals.
7th, right?
Yeah. Pretty sure.
Was it the 27th?
That's a Friday.
No, September 25th.
25th.
That's what it is.
Okay.
September 25th will be the second release, and that is entitled God King.
And then
a little more throwback to our theatrical roots on that one.
Yes.
And then we have we haven't fully announced this, right? When this date is dropping.
As of right now, no.
As of right now, but our EP, which will consist of 5 songs, is dropping the 23rd, correct?
20
of October?
26th.
26th of October?
Yeah.
Sorry, my days are all fucked up. 26th of October, and it is called Empath.
All right, so we got 5. Yeah. So let me recap this. So we have 5 songs on an EP. The first one, Oblivion, comes out on August 28th. The second one, called God King, which goes more back to your theatrical roots, comes out on September 25th. And then the overall EP called Impact comes out on October 26th.
Empath.
Correct.
Empath.
Empath. I thought it was Impact. Okay, good thing I said. Good thing you guys were really correct me, because now I look silly.
Empath.
Feel free to roast the fuck out of me for that one, because well, that's just funny.
And with that EP release, it will also have another single tied to it with another music video. Yeah, that's going to probably be our most favorite song to play live.
Every release date will have a music video accompanying it. So Yeah.
So you guys definitely did pull out all the stops after working on this for 2+ years. If you're going to have, 3 music videos for this 5-song EP coming out, trying to make sure you can get them out to the most amount of people. And you have essentially, again, going back to social media, you have 2 months to really focus in on this, from when the first single drops, when the EP really drops, to gauge a lot of people, to really get them a lot more into this, and just really attack every avenue you can to make sure that this EP release is the best possible release that it can be. And that's the whole key here. That's what I want to see from you guys. I want to see this EP release truly shine for all the work that you guys have had to put in the past couple of years, writing this, really focusing in so much on that, rotating band members coming in. Now you got a solidified lineup. I want to see this do as best as possible.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
man.
And
thank you.
It was a process even of itself, trying to okay, how do we do it? And we just simply looked at what some of our favorite bands are doing, and we paying attention to, okay, so they released this single, how long till they release the next one, and how, just doing our due diligence and to try and, follow along with what the pros are doing. Like you said earlier, when you're just an independent band with nobody behind you, you just got to do your best to try and do everything that this other band is doing with a team of 100 people
and a budget of
way
above ours. I mean, we've definitely spent more money on this release than we've spent on anything we've done combined in the past.
We actually have an expense sheet.
Yeah, we do. We have an expense sheet for all this.
Wow.
So I mean, we
Look at us.
time, money, everything. We've put a lot into this release. So it's we're going all in basically. This is we're going all in. That's really all I can say about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, take those chips, push them all into the middle. I'm all in, boys, on this one. But one thing that also helps potentially, especially being an independent band where, you don't have as many people behind you. You don't have as many people that are specialized in those things. However, by being that independent band, you have the ability to make any decision you want around your music and around the release of it and the promotion of it on the fly, basically. So if something happens where all of a sudden something clicks, you don't got to check with so many people. You don't got to get approval for this kind of money, this, that. You can just do it whenever you want with however you want, because you're the ones making that decision. So who knows? Maybe when that first single drops, maybe something happens where, okay, now this absolutely worked, how it was put out there. Now we're going to tweak our strategy for the second song because the first one went so well. How can we build on top of that instead of sticking to this rigid plan where, everything goes up? You just don't want it to stagnate and fall down. You want to just keep that rise, even if it's ever so slightly. That continued rise will continue to go a long way.
Yep.
And I feel like at the, probably the simplest form to do that is just consistency, and, that's again why we've totally. I hope that something happens awesome with the first release and we're okay, guys, cool. Now this is happening. Now we got to adjust some stuff. But, at the very least, having that solid plan moving forward with, okay, these are what we want to post. This is what we want to promote. These are the show dates that we want to nail. And, just keep riding that train until it comes home. I don't know if that's a saying or not.
No. It's never going to come home,
so
baby.
Come home, baby.
Be like the golf ball with Adam Sandler. Just send it home.
Go to your home.
Are you too good for your home? Answer me.
Oh, that's classic.
Well, one thing I do want to do is I want to tease some of this stuff for the people out there to make sure that they're ready for this. So with these brand new songs, what can we expect on them? Like sound-wise, what can we expect on them, maybe meaning-wise, whatever you guys want to share, because I don't want to get the full scoop. I just want that little taste where I'm just like, God damn it, why isn't it out now? I want to listen to it now. I'm like the Jay Jordan. It's my release date, and I want to listen to it now.
Oh, man. Oh, God.
Call Chord Progression Podcast. I want to hear the song now.
I want to hear the song now. I want to hear the song now.
It's awesome.
Oh,
so with this new stuff, we've definitely, our sound has evolved throughout the years, throughout the different releases. With our first EP, it was I don't know if you've heard it at all, but it was pirate themed. Like we just went for a full pirate theme thing, and it was more like basic metalcore with some elements to it. When we did the full length, we went full on into like that kind of theatrical realm. Then with the 2 singles following that, we definitely kind of were finding the sound more. I think with this one though, we've kind of found a sound, and it's definitely evolved from what we've done before. But we found a sound that's really good. It's and with new people in the band, new ideas, new everything. It kind of, you know,
Specifically, and I'll just touch on like the content of the whole EP.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a darker EP.
Yeah.
We're not a party metalcore band like Attila or anything like that.
No.
But you know, it reflects like honestly kind of a lot of what we were just going through. Yeah, of course, there was COVID. That was a part of why some members left, and other reasons for others, you know, and going through that unsureness. And there was definitely a point where we were very close to throwing in the towel.
Yeah.
And I think that definitely reflects in this entire EP, because I would say the entire EP is definitely focused on like more of just like, I would say, I mean, I don't know, existentialism, maybe, like
Yeah.
the question. I mean, a lot of the songs go through depression or addiction. There's also, for more of our story style songs,
It all
they're
has an
crafted
undertone
around,
to it.
yeah, they're all crafted around
Yeah.
like just going through,
Experiences.
going through these tough times, and ultimately either finding comfort or potentially just jumping off the edge,
Yeah.
metaphorically speaking, of course.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, we do keep that kind of fantasy in the songs, but there definitely is that undertone of like realism to it, to where it's like, you know, we've I think collectively as a world we've all gone through some crazy shit over the past, you know, 4 years, whatever it's been since COVID and all that. So it's, you know, it's relatable, but we still keep that storytelling in it.
and not
Which I
to
think
not
is
to not to you know paint it as this is going to be a depressing album. You're
No,
gonna
no,
love
for
it.
sure, no. Yeah.
But you know,
No.
I would say it's very raw with
it's
emotion.
real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you know, as a lot of people may know, like metal music in general, whether it's metalcore, deathcore, death metal, melodic death metal, whatever genre you're in, the whole of metal is always kind of been around that, right? It's kind of been
Yeah.
around this. In my opinion, like metal has always kind of been it's like a power fantasy for those who are disenfranchised in life for whatever reason. You know, you're a young kid and you're a nerd like I was, and you couldn't find a lot of friends or whatever, and then you find this aggressive, angry music that was like more of a cathartic release
With
for
a
you.
community that accepts everyone.
Exactly, with the best community ever. You know, we're not gonna have a show where people run each other over and you know
Yeah.
have no empathy towards the people that are in the crowd.
No,
You
this
know?
ain't no Travis Scott concert here. We're talking.
No.
I'm
it is
glad
not.
you picked it up. I didn't want to say it, but I was.
I'll say
Yeah,
it. Don't
No, it
worry.
is not.
But you know, and so, for me, it was definitely going back to a lot of that, like. I'm glad we, you know, I think Trevor already mentioned we all had a say in some of the lyrics.
Isaac, you're up. Your mic
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
cut out right there.
Yeah. Your mic's cut out.
You pulled it out of your thing. How's
Oh,
that?
hello? Is that better?
Okay, that fixed it.
Yeah, that's better.
Cheap ass cables. I'm just kidding.
Cheap ass mic.
Yeah, no, with
This is that. Yeah.
and it was
We
interesting
actually
too with,
recorded
like,
our vocals on the mic.
with the writing, this was like way more collaborative writing wise than we've ever done with anything else, and that had to do largely with the new lineup, because before it was basically me and my old guitarist. We wrote everything, so it was like we wrote it, we gave it to everyone else, and they just kind of learned it and we did it. But now, I mean, with all of us, it was collaborative all the way from instrumental to lyrics. Like this is like us in the music as a whole. It's not, you know,
Yeah.
I wrote the lyrics and he wrote this and that. We all wrote collectively. So it's a very, you know,
Yeah.
it's all of our I guess hearts are on our sleeves in this, in everything in this.
Yeah. I think the emotion, not only in the like the words or the melody of the words or the music. I feel like the emotion is there for each part of that. You know, and that'll speak when we release it. It's like, if you have the music just by itself, you'll feel something. If you have the words and just read them, you'll feel something. If you hear the melody, you're gonna feel something. It's
breakdowns.
collectively.
The breakdowns are fun.
Yeah,
we have some pretty fun breakdowns.
Oh,
in
we
this.
do. Yes. Yeah.
Say, don't tell me fun breakdowns and expect me to just sit here and just wonder what they're going to be. It's like, I need to know what these are now. But we will leave those for the surprise, because I don't want to give away any what breakdowns are going to sound like. I just want people to listen to them and then have the absolute stank face and then listen to them just...
Well,
okay. We cannot show him. We cannot show him, guys. We can't.
Is he setting us up?
You need that Robert De Niro like stank face. You're like, that's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. You gotta show some Mr. Jinxie. That's good stuff.
Hey man, you know that's some good music you got there. You know?
Alrighty, then I might have to do like a quick reaction to one of the breakdowns, and all of a sudden just like half show, and then all of a sudden just have a picture of Robert De Niro's face just like right next to it. It's like, how close are we here, guys?
You're giving the Oblivion breakdown to do that. The end one. Yeah. The first single we're releasing, it's one of the, for the majority of the song, I won't give away too much, but it's definitely not like one of the heaviest songs we've written. However, there's a breakdown in it that it'll give you the face. It should give you the face. It should pretty give you the severely.
Face. It should give you the face.
Yeah,
it's a good face, man.
It gives me the face still, and I've listened to it a million times, and I still just go, "Oh God!"
Yeah.
Can I just say I love that? That's like an actual bona fide meter as to whether or not your music is good. Like, you forget. You know, if a crowd is moshing or not. You know, if they're moshing, obviously that's a good indicator. But if you could look out at a crowd of still people, and if just half of those people are going.
Yeah,
just like have the look on their face.
Yeah, if half those people are like, that breakdown just broke the circle of trust there, fucker.
That's the best possible compliment.
That's next level shit.
Let's hope when you hear it, that's the response.
This fucking guy, you telling me this fucking guy's got the breakdowns over here?
Just Joe Pesci, break down how. Break down how. You think the breakdown's good? You think it's here to amuse you? Break down how. You mother! Oh, well, I definitely have to do some sort of like quick reaction to it and just see. It's like, are we going to get to that point of...
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
That would be
awesome.
Awesome.
It's going to be fun. So August 28th, everybody just get ready for it, guys. Just get ready for it. It's going to be good.
You gotta get a good workout, because it takes more muscles in your face to frown than it does to smile. So you better be working out them face muscles.
No, listen to brutal breakdowns with burning calories there. Call that efficiency, fucker. Oh my god. Okay, so everyone, when brand new music comes out August 28th, make sure you go and listen to it, and make sure you wait for that breakdown, and make sure you have the Stanko face meter going. If it's a 0, then there is no emotion on your face. If it's a 10, then you need to look like either you smelled some really, really, really musty cheese, you opened up a gallon of milk that's been sitting in your fridge for 4 weeks past the expiration date, or you are Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Well, guys, as we wrap this up, I have one last question I want to ask you guys. It's something I ask every single artist I bring on here, not only to help us get into more new music, but to shine a light on the new music that you guys love. So there is 1, 2, 3 of you guys. I need one from each of you. So can you guys each name me a band that you absolutely love, that you would love to see more people get into?
Good question. I would say, so for me, one of the bands that we're actually really good friends with that we love to play with all the time, they're called Altered Revelations. And there's some dudes out here, and they are stupid talented, and their music's amazing, and they're awesome. That would be mine for sure.
For me, I got a buddy who, man, I've known him for a long time. Back when I was living in Hawaii, somehow we managed to meet out here on a whim. And so I've reconnected with him, and now he's out in Tennessee. But he's got a band called Via Sky. Great metal. I would say, yeah, metalcore, modern metal style music, and they're doing well right now, man. But I would say they definitely deserve some attention, some serious attention for sure. Via Sky.
Via Sky. Are we doing like friends of bands?
If you want to do friends
bands?
of bands, you can do anybody you want. If you want to do your friends,
Those
go
are
for
just
your
the
friends.
first one that came to my head.
Oh, okay. Because you guys both did your friends, and I'm like, mine was kind of a
No,
band
I mean,
that I first saw, and like they're not real metal by any means, but there is a band that's coming back. And when I was a kid, I was younger. I was a fan of them. They're called From First to Last, and they and they just put on a new song. I believe it's called Genesis. I have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's called Genesis. And yeah, that's I've been into them for a very long time. I'm glad they're coming back, and they're not my friends by any means, but go check them out. Go check them out because they're.
Well, now I feel bad. Now I feel bad. Should I not be plugging my friends or?
No, I love it when people plug their friends because it's a help out. More people get into more new music. It doesn't have to be music that more people like or more people know. If it's friends, if your bands are your friends, and I want to hear about that. I want to get more people into those kind of bands. Just due to the fact that hey, we're all in the same boat here together. We all want to help out each other. So let's just make that happen, especially with a personal connection. The only thing I'm surprised at is with Franki, given the fact he's on Sad Summerfest, and that has come up the most when I asked that question is on that festival, and he didn't say it. And I'm like, that'd have been the perfect time. I'm like, this is a full circle moment. He didn't even know it, but that didn't happen.
See, now I feel bad for not naming a friend's band.
Oh, dude, you're good.
Because this song just came out like a little while ago, and it's kind of like something close to my heart and a band that I've seen, and yeah, man, it influenced a lot of my writing style in the beginning stages. So that's the only reason I said it.
But that's just as important though too. It shows it shows your roots. It shows where you came from. And when they released the song too, I even put out a message. I'm like, hey, can I interview those guys? Like, I put in for it, so it might happen. Who knows?
Dude, you never know, dude. Matt Good might be listening right now and be like, you know what? I'm gonna do an interview now.
Oh, I hope so. I certainly hope so. And then who can listen to your guys' music and then listen to the breakdown? Just say, pretty good breakdown.
Yeah. Breakdown, pretty good breakdown. Fuck yeah. I'm here. Well,
guys. As we bring this podcast to its conclusion, now we'll wrap this up. I want to end this with three things. First things first. One, when it comes to Screams of Syrens, their brand new EP, Empath. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
Yep.
Comes out in October. The brand new song Oblivion comes out on August 28th. So the best thing you can do is go subscribe to the podcast where it says Find Screams of Syrens online. Links, labels for everything, for social media where you can prepare to watch the music video, or if it's out by the time you watch this episode, watch it right then and there and stream it. Follow them. Do not miss out on anything with new music, new shows, nothing. I'm not going to let you miss out on that. So go subscribe to the podcast, click on your favorite link, and go right to it. So follow along with these guys because I told you to. Now it's time for number two. Gentlemen, whenever guests on the podcast, I enjoy the podcast. I tend to make a certain promise, a way to say thank you guys. I really appreciate it. And I would love to continue to support you guys in the future. And this is what it is. It is a when. Because that implies this will happen. We just don't have a day or time yet. When I get to you guys perform live for the first time, I will come look for you. I will pursue you. I will find you. You may start talking like this. That Robert De Niro face. I may grab a drink, put it down on your little table. Make sure to not put a coaster on it. Leave a ring so we have a circle of trust. Because first round's on me, guys. That's what I'm saying. First round's on me.
You better talk to us the whole time like that when we see you.
Yeah, right.
We just want the whole conversation to be exactly like that.
Was the whole conversation be with Robert De Niro?
The whole conversation just like this.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I just want to see these two do it together. Just have a De Niro off.
We'll have to do it. We're not breaking the circle of trust here, guys.
Absolutely, though, man. I would love to be on a tour or even just a string of shows sometime very soon, and that's what we're planning for. So we hope to see you in person sometime.
Hey, it'll happen eventually. That's why we say when, not if. And now it is time for number 3, guys. As we bring this to conclusion, I can end this by saying goodbye because this is a hell lot of fun. Now I got to do a whole Robert De Niro impersonation the entire time I meet you guys. And I do not want to be the only time you come on the podcast. I would love to have you guys on again in the future. So this is not goodbye, guys. This is I'll see you later.
All right. We'll see you later.
Well, folks, this is my interview with Trevor, Isaac, and Franki from the band Screams of Syrens, and now it's time for Kevin's final thoughts. So there's a lot going on here, and it really speaks to what I'm going to call the product, and that's pretty much, if you're an artist, what are you absolutely making? Are you making beautiful art, visual art, audio art like music, performance art, whatever it is? And it really speaks to what Screams of Syrens said, where there are so many artists that are out there that are making content, just making content at times. And I've seen it before, so I know they've seen it too. We said there are plenty of people out there, plenty of people on social media that they put so much focus in the social media game, and they have a lot of great numbers, whether it's on Spotify for monthly listener count, whether it's on YouTube for certain videos, or whether it's just a lot of followers on platforms like TikTok and Instagram. But when you put them in a live setting, why don't they sell? And it's because the product isn't there. Yes, social media is such a huge piece of the game right now when it comes to discovery, when it comes to viability, when it comes to getting your name out there, when it comes to overall reach. But if the product that you're creating is not up to standard, then people might be following you along for a different reason. Whether it's because you post a lot of funny memes, whether it's because you just have crazy, content that's out there that captivates people that isn't related to music. I said is not related to the music. So it doesn't have any viability behind it. With how much time and effort they put into this, we're going through 5 to 7 different iterations of these 5 songs on Empath, or just working with another producer to try and get those different outcomes, or working so long with new members coming into the band and understanding what makes them great, what makes them great musicians, and how they're going to fit into the band and how their influences can help out the band evolve their sound. That's something that takes a lot of time, and they really made sure that the product was going to be the base and the foundation of their band was going to be the best. So when they do the other things to bring your attention in there, the foundation is what makes you stay. I do want to thank you guys for being on the podcast. Be sure to check them out online, social media, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere. Go subscribe to the podcast below. All the links are there, so click on it and go follow them. Also, be sure to follow along with the Chord Progression Podcast app, Chord Progression Podcast. If you can't tell, I'm a little tired today. This weekend that I shot this was my brother's bachelor party, and I did this right after. So, yeah, I'm a little tired. So hit the subscribe button right down here. Yeah, right down here. New episodes every single Tuesday and Thursday with the reactions every single Friday as well. If you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can hit the subscribe button or the follow button on there. The full episodes, audio version, every Tuesday and Thursday. Beyond that, be sure to follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Links in the description of the podcast below. Thank you guys for joining in, and see Robert De Niro Stank based on some shows. Not the Circle Pit. We'll call it the Circle of Trust now. On that note, that's going to be it for me today, everybody. Thank you for watching and listening to the Chord Progression Podcast. My name is Kevin, and you guys know how I end every single one. That's the big, healthy, and hearty. See ya! Oh, yeah.